Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mindseye. We're gonna go ahead and get started on the live. All right, let's see. It's kind of open, so feel free to ask your questions and all that sorts. But basically, something about like Cyber Tuesday. I find it kind of odd that there's like a lot of things that are going on about how where they're having like hiccups and stuff like that. So as we're getting it out, we're gonna do. Let's see what is actually going on. So we had the pardon of the turkey. You can't lament for prey, but you can do a done, and you can't do a done, and you can't be a bay, and you can't be a bay of a lay of a say. So I said, can you sue? And you can't even sue. So basically, what do? Like you can't cause war, and you can't do all these things, and all that. I'm looking at my hair, and I'm like, oh my god, I need a haircut. I need a good hairdresser. Lord Jesus in heaven. So let's look at this. What's going on? There's something of like judgment or like rash value that comes in. And when I see it, this card, and it's like kind of this light bulb that's coming up, like this aha moment that's coming in for the holiday weekend. There's this lack of communication or like all forms of communication that's coming in that like it's like a halt stop on like a bunch of things, and I hate to like move it that fast, but basically when I see this Ten of Cups in reverse is showing that there's something not right. There's something not right. And there's like a lot of things that you could do, but you can't say it well. Like, why is this like discontent? Because other psychics are talking about how things need to stay like it's starting at home, how these things are coming and transpiring. So when I see the Seven of Cups, it actually means like rash value is out. When I see the King of Wands in reverse, there's something about like a dishonor of like a relative course that comes in. And when you see the Nine of Wands, we already know. We already know it's already about Thanksgiving. Excuse me. But nobody wants to go to Thanksgiving. That's heinous. It happens every year. Just dismiss it. Just dismiss it. It's okay. So I see this and I see Five of Pentacles. It is like a disappointment loss. But there's something about happiness, the sun. Alright, what else? There's like not attuned to each other anymore. And when you see the Tower card, it is a little chaotic. They're not sticking together anymore. Some people, I mean, it happens. People grow apart. So when you look at this and you go to the Page of Pentacles, something was like not missing the message, or like they were missing the message, or something intercepted, or any of that matter. Because when I look at this and you go justice, you go right there, right there, right there. There's something that comes in and cuts it off quick this week. Now, when I'm looking at the Page of Wands in reverse, it's not fiery. It's not like new or any of that matter to that degree, but it is known. It is known. When you see this, the Three of Swords, it is a little bit more heartbreaking than what they usually do. So when I look at this Three of Cups, though, there is this getting together and knowing. There we go. Let's see what else. We'll go right to the Lyra Witch's Oracle. Here we go. There's a lot of energy to like knock out. All right. Something of people's past coming through. This is like a type of trolling. It's like toxic masculinity. Oh, not what they wanted at the Thanksgiving dinner table. This is awful. Absolutely awful. There's something about freedom. There's some nasty conversations coming through. There's about bravery and like senses, hunger, up to like sexuality. So as I'm seeing it, there's like something about like sex offenders and pedophiles that are so strong, at least like very public in Connecticut right now, about justice. You can't even make this card up. That when you see this is like all is known. And when you look at this and you go, endurance, pace it out, and you see love, yes, even in friendships, you gotta pace it out when you have like a disrupt or an argument or anything of that nature. I don't know what happened, but it always lands on Thanksgiving. Always. There's something about watchful knowing in the subconscious. It was like right in the back of the head. When you see this and you see the news, you go, that's true. That's true. To the snail, it's slow, ongoing, like fateful fortune. And then you see history, and you go, cauldron to ancient past again with a spider. It is true. You wouldn't believe what actually had happened out here. So we had one criminal out here in Connecticut that actually was making people break stones. And like when I say stones, it was like black tourmaline. They were breaking black tourmaline, amethyst, crystal quartz, agate, like all these hard stones. And some of them like were actually like meant for like friendships and protection and marriage. And when you want to talk about when they did like promises on some of these, there was like 48 divorces. You couldn't even believe how that happened. How that happened. It was gross. People were so sick and sour that when I looked at President former Biden, Joe Biden, and she got a new ring, it said, I bet she came out right out here, right out of Connecticut. Couldn't make it up at all. Here we go. Here we go. There's no balance when this came through. It really is going to come to the table again. It really is. When you see this in the lightning bolt, you go, in reverse. You can't even sue it. When you see the King of Roses in reverse, where they're like, you want to put this in reverse, and you go, hold up a minute, hold up a minute. When you see balance in the lightning bolt and the King of Roses, it all lines up. Like you can actually, with this incident of this criminal that we were talking about in Connecticut who broke all those stones, it was so bad that people couldn't walk right. They were tripping and falling. And when that happened, like something like came in was offered to a degree, like community. They couldn't believe like so many people actually had to help them to where they actually had to say, are you sure like you didn't want to come in and like have this divorce? Like it's documented you're divorced. Yeah, it goes into the court case. They force us to be divorced against our will, against like anything about law enforcement or military, anything of that nature. Like we do, just kind of stay apart and just do the best. Like this guy, and like down to this, I look at this and I'm like, down to bread. Like people like nitpicky about bread. When I see Hilarion is an old term in judicial where it's a continuance on and it's so old. You can see the pillars. So when I'm looking at it and you see there's like a descent and and this feeling that you can have in these relationships, and you see fated meeting, like people actually met people they were not supposed to meet. So when I said about these protective stones that were in partnerships and marriages and everything, and that criminal out here in Connecticut had broken that stone in those marriage contracts, that people had faded meetings of people who were not supposed to. That's why I was saying maybe you shouldn't be dinging Joe Biden and Jill Biden right now. They probably had to renew everything about themselves. So when I see this and I see birth, there's something about baby too. Like something was not supposed to be around birth. All forms like nothing new. And it was odd. So I look at this and I see the War of the Roses come in. It's like almost the first wars that ever existed in our souls. That's how powerful witchcraft is. It can be good and it can be bad and protected rightfully. That's why it was really angering with Stonehenge, because I swear to God, if you look up the Electra Blue Cafe out of Tallinn, Connecticut, like they don't talk about it much, but it was heinous in that county, in Williamstown Colony. So, but on my colony, I can hear colony. Something about this. So when I see Archangel Raphael, look how this guy is like giving this, and like, I don't know why I get this serpent feeling, and it really was true to the point of we were all like having snakes in our basement. And then it was like Adam and Eve. Is it biblical? And we'll have to look at that. Did it actually become biblical out here? Because we were talking about that. Where is it? Is this biblical what happened at the Electric Blue Cafe? Oh Lord. All right. There's no like feminine energy to that key. It's actually looking at like a moon cycle. Something about a moon cycle. Every way of that meaning, a moon cycle. And like it continues on, like it will never flow and stop through. It's odd. It's odd about that incident at the Electric Blue Cafe. And we were talking about the stones being broken and how everyone's soured, including up to the last presidency. So when you see it and you see a lot of things, you see this diversity in reverse. There was no diversity. Yes, feel free, Anunnaki God. Yes, go ahead and ask questions. Just go ahead and type them right in. So there's no diversity in that incident. It's Oz. Most of them are Caucasian that were highly affected. When you see the King of Keys, like there's someone who was controlling whatever came out of that establishment. And it was pretty common of criminal activity in that area, especially around the bars and everything. You just never know what was actually going to come out, especially if someone was going to violate a probation or parole or anything. So when you see this and you see the garden, it was like tended to well. And when I see those wing messages, like anyone could pick up on it, like really quickly. Some were a little harder than others. When you want to talk about two different worlds, absolutely out there. There's ones that were in the public eye, and then there's sucking a lot of things. So let's see. Will you reach to a degree? I see a college degree for you. I see there's like some sort of like fun play, and when you see this fun play, it'll come in. I do see there's something like education, and when you see education, I do see music, I do see singing, I do see that you really do well. I do see over a 1 to a 2. I see lifetimes old, I see lifetimes gold, I see lifetimes of a must be, and a must be is like something about like getting sick. Like all of a sudden you get sick and you got a cold in your throat and you can sing. It's odd. It's odd. So when I see this and I see the King of Horses, like it's something related to actually what's been happening in many states and communities. Like they're very like harsh in their speaking. There's something about will, wisdom, and mind for you, Anunnaki God. And it's something about like going back. It's almost like this odd, like recognized thing, or like a past life remembrance that all of a sudden like it unlocks for you, and you do, and you just do. There's something about like something angelic or like an angelica. And then when I see intricacies in the industry, it's all built up for you like as soon as you arrive and you're done. And you're like absolutely done. When you see this, it's not up in the air, it's set concrete. Set concrete. All right. Here we go. Let's open up another deck. What else do we need to know that's kind of driving this Thanksgiving week? Everything is very focused on Thanksgiving. All the way down to the turkey pardon. Down to the turkey pardon to everything that's covered with it. I don't know why. Here it is. We'll do that last. You can't really look or study into something. You see this, there's something about justice. There's something about justice. And I hate to get red in the face like that. Like, my God. Something was not done right. R-I-T-E, not done right. So when I see this in this Knight of Wands, it usually you can see it like how descriptive this card is. It's very passionate. It's very like going that you can't even like see. You can't even see. It's gonna cause a little bit of more chaos. I do see it. Thank you. Accurate. I remember past life and Anunnaki. Yeah, so when I studied like Anunnaki, they actually are like our foregoing and our foreknowing, and can be a little bit like supernatural, but they're very like to it. They're always to it. So they're always right there. They're always like super psychic already. They already know what to do. So if they're already right there and then something happened, they're already just gonna go and like flip over and say, yep, as soon as I hear a word or I see a bird or I see a piece of paper, a piece of mail that comes in, I'm already going to know what to do and I'll just do it because it was already set as soon as like my soul existed. So when I see this as it's going through and it does tie in, when you see the Five of Wands in reverse, there is like, when I say lesser, Lesser of a struggle this week, it's not foreseen. It's odd, especially when I see the numbers 3 and 9. But when I see this Five of Swords in reverse, you can't like tinker or tanker. It's odd. It's odd. When you see this Eight of Cups, it's like walking away from certain things. Why do I feel like a bunch of people walk away from their jobs this week? Seven of Wands in reverse. It's not guarded. That's how I feel. There's like nobody talks about it. They just go. And they just quit their job. Now, when I see this, it has to do with some sort of disappointment. Let's look at the card that fell on the ground here. There we go. What card do we need to know? It's about them like completing cycles. So when you see the world actually means that they completed something in their lifetime and that they're just done and it's okay. It really is. Here we go. Let's go a little harder and let's look at Animal Spirit Oracle. What do we need to know? When I see this, there's some sort of sting Truly, and I see flowers, I see spring, I see pollination. When I see the moth, I actually have to say, like, because Slender Man came up in arrests this week, and I see the bat, I actually have to say, some people are going to say, I think that it is time to actually come in and talk about everything on how odd it was. When you see this, you see the tiger, you see Carol Baskins to Baskin and Robbins, and like down to ice cream. Then you see the snake. You have to say, what happened in the world? Because then you see this and you say, something comes back again. Something comes back again. You're like, oh, Lord, here we go. The buffalo. Watch Wyoming. All right. Starseed Oracle. And we'll do runes. What else do we need to know? Here it is. There's really nothing new. This is what this deck is saying. There's really nothing new except a cold press. A very cold press. So when I see this, it says surrender, holding the opposites. Extreme life. I'm saying, watch the football game. I don't know why I'm here. Watch the football game. When I see soul gifts and I see training and it's time to step up, somebody's going to recognize something. And we see this, you see longing for home, homesick for the stars. That's my sign for usually, like, leave it on the table. None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. There's something like, I think there's some people who actually return in many people's lives and say, I think we need to talk, and I think we need to settle down, and I think we need to come to terms and be like natural and malleable about whatever is coming on, because it's just too odd, all the events that are happening in the world right now, because it's too trolling to poking fun. So when I look at this and I say, I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs and uprooting, and you say doors are opening, you decide rewards and wild card, you want to talk about like huge changes all of a sudden, because then you see seeing potential, bringing unconscious to light. There's candid conversations all of a sudden. All this week. All right. Let's see. Let's do the runes and see what they say. What do we need to know? All right. Hegal, Nadis, Kanu, and Burkana. Like, there's like a baby born at night that disrupts like everything. Disrupts everything. When you see Lagu and you see like warrior, it came in through. When you see this and you say you can't even make it up, and you see this, like this type of like ongoing, this is the type of energy that's coming in, like a wave, like coming in. We see it has wealth, has power. It will like ride on through. It's old like terminology. When you say Dega, I do see the winds of force. And when I see like living, you go, my God, nothing else like wants to come out of those ruins. It's like, stop right there, stop right there. All right, what else do we need to know and see? Like everything is like a theme and like thoroughness. and you can't see it coming. But when I see here, like when they're talking about Cyber Tuesday, I'm saying like it really is something like disrupt. And then they go, tomorrow is kind of can't even see it. Can't even see it. Um, that usually is my max point. It's like I don't even want to. On Thursday, just do the best you can. Some people are very happy. I don't know why it's so blatantly outward of I'm not happy about being here on Thanksgiving. There's like all of a sudden that's like conversation. There's like some sort of huge block. Like, oh my god, can't even get it out. Huge block. Can't even do. Just can't even do. That's all I keep hearing. You can't even do it. Oh, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you, in many houses. So when I'm hearing, like I had said, in other places where it's going to start at home, these issues all coming in and then becoming public, like you can hear it at home first. And that's all you need to know. So with that being said, any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share is greatly appreciated. And we will talk to you soon.